So in 2006, my husband and I were expecting our third child, and we decided that we needed a bigger home to accommodate our growing family. Well, the housing market where we lived in Georgia was doing really well, and so we decided to put our house up for rent and purchase a much larger, more expensive home. Well, I'm sure you all know what happened to the housing market shortly after that. Yep, we saw the value of our home drastically fall well below what we owed. To make matters worse, my husband came down on military orders to move to North Carolina. So we tried to sell the house, but were unsuccessful. We couldn't rent them out either for well over a year. So we had to make some drastic decisions financially. We decided to sell a lot of what we owned, and we moved our family into a tiny little apartment in North Carolina. But even then, we couldn't pay all our bills. Some friends of ours shared a book with us. It's called The Total Money Makeover by Dave Ramsey. And there was a lot of things he says in here that really resonated with me, and I felt coincided with what the church teaches about being self-reliant. So today I just want to share some of the tips that he has in here, and I hope that they might help you financially, or if you already know this information, might inspire you to share what you know with someone that could benefit from it. So the first thing he talks about is setting up a budget. And as my husband and I were setting up our budget, we found that we had to cut out a lot of expenses just to get out of the red. So that meant no more cable, no more eating out, and no more extra trips to the store. I also started clipping coupons, and I found this really helpful website that helped me with this. It's called thegrocerygame.com. And also, if you're new to setting up a budget, I recommend you go to daveramsey.com. He has a wonderful budgeting tool that'll walk you step by step through the process, and it's completely free. And then after that, I recommend that you print out your budget, post it somewhere like your refrigerator or somewhere that you'll see it, and it can remind you to stick to it. My husband and I, as we were doing this, we decided we needed something to help us be accountable for our expenditures. And so we started doing the envelope system. And ours basically is just a simple recipe box, but in it we have envelopes, and each of the envelopes says food, gas, clothing, and those kind of things. But then we put money into the envelopes at the beginning of the month, and that way we use this cash only for these expenses, and we don't turn to the credit card or the debit card for these particular things. And it helps us stick to our budget that way. This brings me to the first point in Dave Ramsey's book, and that is to set up a $1,000 emergency fund, kind of like a rainy day fund. And obviously this will take some people longer than others to get this $1,000, and that's okay. But this money is for emergencies, so if your car breaks down or unexpected trip to the ER, you can turn to this money and not to a credit card. So work on getting $1,000. I recommend putting it in a savings account somewhere that you can turn to it quickly, but not so quickly that it's tempting to spend it on other things. The second step he talks about is to get out of debt. And he suggests doing the debt snowball. If you're not familiar with that, is you focus on your smallest debt first, paying it off, and then the money you were paying with that, apply it to the next smallest debt, and so forth until you've paid off all your debts besides your home mortgage. His third step he talks about is continuing to work on your emergency fund, but now doing a 3 to 6 months worth of income. That way, if you become unemployed or you have an illness in the home that takes away from your income, you can turn to this reserve and not turn to credit cards or any other form of debt. Now he goes on to share 4 more steps in his book that I wish I had time to share with you today. Obviously, we're all at different stages in our lives and income, but the thing I learned the most from this is it's okay to go without things. It's okay to not have a fancy home. It's okay to not have a brand new car. You'll survive. It's okay. I learned that the hard way. I think our happiest moments as a family have been when we lived in the tiny apartment together. We have fond memories of that year. Our Christmas was heartfelt and meaningful because it was simple and homemade. I also, during this experience, gained a huge testimony of paying your tithing. I saw many miracles and blessings come into our lives and my family's personally, and I know it's from paying tithing first. So I hope today I've inspired you to look at your finances and find ways that you can become more financial independent, and share what you've learned with those that can benefit from this information also. Thanks for watching. Bye.